or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Would you love to deepen your spiritual connection and create a conscious shift in your life? Do you seek answer to human experience? Well, welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. It's a 2.5-hour safe haven for your questions and Spirit's answers. And you can transform your life right now on VCMG in South Florida. Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium who can assist you to connect the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all possible experience and knowledge. For the next 2.5 hours, listen and call in toll-free 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube and share love and light.
It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another. We can't stay the same. We've lost the game of life. We can't run away anymore. The world is changing now. We need to heed the warning. The world is calling you to rise above where you've been. The world is changing now. What we did before doesn't work. It's time for you. It's time for me to change. The world is changing now. Won't you change and open your heart?
open your heart right here on the Oldie Station. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and we are answering your questions all across the nation at 866-972-7247. Love. That's a power. It's an energy. It's a force. And love is who you are. You are love. You are this force of energy that can transform anything. You are this energy that is stronger than anything that has ever been created by man. For the power within you is love. You see, there's so many things in the world that can be created. But the things that last the longest, the things that are memorable, meaningful, are the things that are created with love. Many people don't feel the energy of love because they don't love themselves. They're too critical. They hurt their journey because they are looking for what they have yet to do with a critical mind. When you have a critical mind, you can't honor the divine in you. So many times I sit across from people in a session and they share with me that they must feel like there's something wrong with them, that they're not good enough, they're not worthy, that life seems to be so much better for other people than it does for them. They fall into this comparing mind that removes them from love. For each human being is created unique. And every aspect of you is created by a divine power. And there are no mistakes. So whatever you're critiquing within yourself or externally, it's not how the universe sees it. It is the way it is because it's part of your journey. It is the way it is because it offers you the opportunity in your life to embrace who you are and stand up against those who don't see the beauty in you, don't understand the power that you are. It's not your job to convince somebody that you're lovable. It's not your job to convince someone to like you. It's not your job to convince someone of your worth. You need to just be. I know in this world that we are driven to move forward in a direction of creation, of roles, of job titles. It's so much. But we shouldn't have to compare ourselves to others and prove ourselves in the way that we've been trained to do. We've been trained to outdo someone so that we can get recognized. We've been trained to see where other people have flaws so we can do better than they. Now, I understand in this world we have to shine our light. But most people don't even shine as brightly as they can because they don't even see their own light. There's a lot of people feeling down and filled with despair. And this energy is weighing them down. They don't know how to pull themselves up. They've forgotten who they are. I would say 5 times a week I hear people say they feel lost. I would say 5 to 10 times a week I hear people say they feel empty. Maybe you feel that way too. I mean, somewhere along the way we lost sight of the beauty of who we are and the beauty of the connection to this entire planet and our connection to the divine. It means somewhere inside we forgot to honor the light inside, the divinity, the uniqueness. There's something special about everyone. So why do we question it? Why do we question our place in the sun, in this life? Question our journey because it didn't go the way you thought it should or could? If you're loving yourself the whole way, if something changes, everything's changing to keep you in a safe spot, to keep you in your highest vibration. But we as humans want to hold on to things that aren't working for us. We want to hold on to people, experiences. We just don't know how to let go. We become used to, well, the heck we might be living, because at least we know how to navigate that. So that puts us in survival mode. And when we're in survival mode, we're not in the mode of inspiration. We can't feel the flow of the divine. When we're in survival mode, we're just running from one thing to another, trying to put out fires and stay afloat. It's not easy. And I know in a particularly challenging time that we are in, that many of you might be feeling as if all you have is survival mode. Otherwise, how are the bills going to get paid? How are we going to buy groceries? How are we going to manage? We have to drop down to the energy of love. I know, love may not pay the bills the way you think it will. But by being in the energy of love and loving yourself and understanding that you were created in the energy of love, and love is the force that flows within you, it is that force that can inspire you to come up with a solution, an inspiration, and become motivated and inspired to get something done, instead of feeling like you're tossed around in a circle. Kind of like one of those salad spinners. We're just spinning around, just waiting. What are you waiting for? What is it that you want that you don't have? Or do you have everything you want and need if you really peel back the layers and just look at who you are and what you are to the world and the basic things that you do have? Perhaps you don't have your dream job yet. Perhaps you haven't found that partner yet. But regardless of that, there's still a journey for you to travel in. There's still a journey for you to explore and develop new ideas. We have to trust. Not everyone was raised in an energy that gave them a feeling of feeling loved. Perhaps that's you. Perhaps you didn't feel seen or heard or loved. Maybe you've overcompensated and moved on into the world to make up for the fact that you haven't felt loved, so that you could be a success. But somewhere down inside of you, there is a love that you haven't tapped into because it wasn't nurtured and tended to when you were younger. Everything you do is blessed by the energy of love. Everything you think is blessed by the energy of love. But most of us push those blessings aside and we listen to the other voice that compares and criticizes and doesn't allow you to feel safe, confident, inspired. There's so much love that you can find in this world. And most of us have been taught to look for love externally, receiving compliments and praise from others, needing validation. And yes, it's wonderful to have. But you were wired to be able to fill your own cup with love so that you could go out into the world and from the energy of love attract all the people that would recognize the beauty, the strength, the power of love that is you, and help you on your journey. Encourage you, love you, connect with you. Those people are there in the world. But when we're not in the energy of love, when we're in this energy of survival and disappointment and we're holding on to hurt, what happens is we become stuck, stagnant, and our energy begins to attract people who are going to reiterate all the things that are critical, maybe messages of the past. They're going to force you to stay in a box because they're not coming from a place of love. When you're not in that energy of love, not in that energy of the flow of the divine, you become fragmented and disjointed, and we find ourselves spinning, just spinning, not really understanding our meaning or purpose, feeling empty and lost. There's a journey for each one of us. But the main aspect of this journey is to discover love. This is really the only reason you were put on the earth. How it became about everything we live for now, well, I guess we'd have to go back through history and see how mankind has shifted the focus. But the focus has always been about love. Just take a look at your pets. Look how much love they exude. Look what they do, the joy they bring into your lives. Look at nature. Look at the animals that are outside. Look at the birds as they play. They may chase each other, but they play. They sing. They're at peace. They exude love. Even bees in the hive. They're there to protect the queen. They're there to be sure that their labor of love will produce a golden elixir, honey. There's such a sense of team and camaraderie if you were to study bees. There was a story I read not too long ago, how there were two bees stuck in some honey that had slipped into a different compartment in one of the honey hives. And the beekeeper didn't really know what to do to get those bees out, but they were kind of drowning in the honey, and the honey was sticking to their wings. And so the other bees, when they saw that two bees were struggling, they left what they were doing and they literally moved all that honey out of the way so the two bees could come out and fly. And they didn't die. Maybe some of us couldn't even say that our own family members would do that for us. So how did we, as a society, how did we as people, as members of families, become so disjointed, so divided? How did we as a world become so separate if we're all created in the energy of love? How as a country, have we become as stressed as we have become? Because people have forgotten about love. You forgot that love is what brought you all those good moments in your life. Love was the force that inspired you to go look for the job that you have that you love, or the success for your business, or to create children. It's the energy of love. And the more you love yourself, the stronger the love becomes around you, with everyone who surrounds you. And that becomes a force to be reckoned with. Nothing can really go against the power of love. So when you're feeling down and you're feeling critical of yourself, when you're comparing yourself to other people, just tell yourself to stop. Remind yourself that you are love. And literally say, I am love. That is the meaning, the purpose of my life. I am love. And everything I do, I will do from the energy of love. Not from the energy of disappointment. Not from the energy of boredom, necessity, survival. But the energy of love. If you make that promise to yourself, you're going to notice a difference in your entire life. Did you ever go somewhere and you love to eat at a person's house because everything they make tastes so good? It could be the simplest of meals, but it always tastes so good. Often it would be a relative, a grandmother, but it could be anyone who really loves to cook and loves to entertain and is very excited, enthusiastic about you joining them for dinner. They don't cook out of routine. They cook from their heart. They cook with love. And everything they make just manages to taste really good. No matter what the ingredients, no matter how simple or complicated, there's just a sense of love. You go somewhere else and they could have the fanciest of ingredients, but it could have this cold, empty feeling. Maybe the flavors are there, but it doesn't fill your heart. It doesn't fill you up. There's a difference when one cooks with love and one cooks because it's an order in a restaurant. And that most certainly doesn't mean that all chefs in restaurants don't cook with love, because I know many of them do. But you can tell the difference. You can tell because you get this feeling, this vibration. Do you know, from a spiritual perspective, you should always bless your food before you consume it? And did you know why? Because maybe the people who created your food or handled your food were not in a place of love. Maybe they were angry and frustrated. Maybe they had a disagreement with their partner before they came to work. Or maybe a particular way that the meal was prepared in the processing plant, or the meat, or the chicken farm. Something wasn't really well kosher, shall we say. And there was just an off vibration. That vibration stays in the energy of the meat and the chicken and the vegetables. It stays there. Because they absorb it. Because they, like us, are energy. And so they absorb the energy, and then it gets placed on your plate. And then you consume that. And as you consume that, you're consuming all that discourse, this disappointment, this angst, this fear. So we bless it. We give it the vibration of love, and we ask for the energy of God to be in our food, so that our food can nourish us with light and love. Just like when children are born and the mother has the choice, sometimes it's not always a straight choice for many reasons, but a child that's breastfed even has a slightly different immunity system than a child that takes a bottle. And there's many reasons, and it doesn't mean the mother doesn't love her child if she gives the child a bottle. But there's something about that union, that closeness, that feeling of love and connection that helps that child be an adjusted adult. There are so many ways we can express love. There's so many ways you can see the love inside yourself. So I ask you to take a look at yourself and really say to yourself all the things that you love about you. And embrace those aspects of you and remind yourself that you are one of the most powerful beings on this earth because you possess the power and the energy of love, and therefore you can create and do anything. And through the energy of love, you have the power to shift your entire life. Through the energy of love, you're always connected to your guides, your angels, your loved ones on the other side. Through the energy of love, whatever feels dissatisfactory, you have the power to change. You can shift it. So embrace yourself and look at the energy of love as your superpower. And remember that you're worthy of love. You're worthy and you are enough. And love is always the answer. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and we are welcoming your phone calls here on the Oldie Station on 95.3, 95.9, 106.9, 96.9, and 104.3. We are so happy to be connecting with you. We would love to hear from you on Facebook and YouTube. Leave your questions, leave your comments. We will be answering them as well. We'll be on answering your questions from now until 9 p.m. So stay with us, everyone. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next 2 hours of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussions to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another 2 hours to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHs. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost
lost the game of life. We can't run away anymore. The world is changing now. We need to heed the warning. The world is calling you to rise above where you've been. The world is changing now. What we did before doesn't work. It's time for you. It's time for me to change. The world is changing now. Won't you change and open your heart? Open your heart.
And how do we open our heart? When we first opened the show, we were talking about the fact that you are love. And you have the power to do anything through the energy of love. But how do you open your heart if your heart has been closed for so long? How do you open your heart if you've had a lot of trauma when you were growing up? How do you learn to trust? How do you really believe that you're worthy of love if people haven't made you feel loved? And I'm talking about the early years, when perhaps you were 3 or 2 or 4 or 7, and you felt as if you were removed from joy and happiness, and somehow you didn't feel safe in your environment. Maybe your parents weren't present emotionally, physically. Maybe they had too much of their own issues going on, their own anger, their own frustrations, their own lack of self-love, their own resentments, that they really couldn't give you the intention and attention that you were worthy of. You see, a parent has to intentionally make time for a child because there's so much to do when you have a little child. Anyone who's had children knows well, you think it's a little job, it's a big job. It's a big job. And you still have the whole life you had up until you had a child to continue navigating, be it work, be it family obligations with your parents, be it your relationship, bills. There's so much to cover in life. And as we move in the direction of creating love, we have to heal the past. We really do. When you look at the moment in time that made you feel that worst moment that made you feel so low, made you feel judged and not good enough, what happened? Where were you? What was the storyline? And how has that impacted you now to this day? Do you still hear in your head something someone said to you that robbed you of your confidence and robbed you of your joy? And now when you go to do it, you can still feel that hesitation. Like maybe I won't be good enough or smart enough. I may not convince them I'm worthy of the job. They may not like me. I hear children say that They're worried that somebody doesn't like them. Their friends don't like them. But how deep does that hurt run? How deep? If when you are an adult, you're still worrying if people like you. The people who are meant to like you are going to like you. Those who are not meant to like you aren't going to like you because they're not a vibrational match for you. But how many of you really worry about who likes you? I mean, we want to make people feel comfortable. We enjoy fitting in. I'm not saying we shouldn't want to feel liked. But there are those of you who actually worry that people don't like you. Because you're so used to people not liking you. And you actually create that gap in the connection with people. It's a tricky thing. Breaking free of all the beliefs that we've had as children, the hurts that we may have experienced, even if it's being compared to a sibling or bullied at school. Because we're such unique spiritual beings that have such a unique energy, we're just little sponges when we're first here on earth. And we absorb everything that everybody is throwing at us. We enjoy the energy of love and the energy of fun and attention. But if the same person who's playing with you and tells you that they love you is calling you names and telling you that you're stupid or not good enough, or why can't you be like your brother or your sister, or why, and they point out a flaw that they deem a flaw, how do you trust what they say? You know, I have adults tell me I'm worried about being in a relationship because they haven't been good for me, and how do I know how to trust them? Because these things have happened in relationships. So I don't want to set myself up to be hurt again, because I know people do the following things in relationships. They hurt, they're selfish, they're not transparent, authentic, they're not committed, they're cheaters, the list goes on. So we have to give ourselves this point of reference to when we were young and ask ourselves, where was there this confusion as to your worth when you were growing up? Was the caretaker, the primary parent, or even the parent that wasn't primary, was somebody treating you in a way that was contradictory of the energy of love? You need to heal that wound. You need to go back and you really need to embrace who you are and know that that parent, that caretaker was doing the best they could for who they are. And we can't go back and change the story. But we can go back and we can change how we view ourselves and remind ourselves that those things were said in the heat of the moment, in frustration and anger from that adult, and that you are worthy of love and that you are love. And when you were first born, they could see the energy of love, but their own personal lives got out of control and they lost sight of love. Wow. I think a lot of people have lost sight of love. I think if we look upon the planet, we would say, where is the love? Everyone feels this need to be seen, heard, liked, be right. But if you're coming from a place of love, you don't need to convince anybody of anything. If you're coming from a place that's in love, that's connected and feels inspired by God, whether someone believes you or agrees with you, it doesn't matter because you're in the energy of love. And you're comfortable with who you are. It's the wounds that drown us all. It's that voice in your head that robs you of joy and love. It's that voice that makes you remember you were the outcast in the family, the black sheep. It's a voice that makes you remember that you went to college, but maybe college wasn't for you and you left and people made you feel like a failure. But college wasn't for you, so why is that a big deal? It's that voice inside your head that says, you're not attracting the right partner, there must be something wrong with you. Okay, you're the common denominator, but that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. You are the energy of love. You are worthy of love. It's just somewhere inside of you, you're holding on to the hurt and the pain, and that becomes a central point of attraction, and that's what's attracting the people that you're choosing to be your partner or someone to date. You're attracting people who are not going to validate you. You're attracting people who are going to give you those very same mixed messages. I love you. You're cute, you're sweet, you're a little kid, but I'm going to scream at you and I'm going to hit you. I'm going to punish you. That doesn't feel like love. And if you think about it, there are many people as adults who they may say they love a person, but then they just can't help themselves by flying off the handle or being angry. So how is the person that you're with supposed to really know that you love them? That, again, doesn't mean you can't get angry, doesn't mean you can't express yourself. But sometimes it's how you say it, what you say, the force with which you say it. Are you expressing yourself in frustration and anger and demeaning the other person? That's a learned behavior. It's part of survival, too. Now, if you sit back and you think about all the conversations that kind of went that way, can you see how so many people are so, caught in the energy of survival that they're in this fight or flight mode, and yet they're still trying to be in this energy of peace and love and find happiness and joy and feel free, and it's just weighing them down? It's an impossible task to master because that voice inside of you, that feeling inside of you just jumps right up just when you're in this energy of love and you feel like, all right, I've finally arrived. I'm finally on my yellow brick road. Everything's going to be okay. And something comes in and gets you. How do you handle that? You talk to yourself inside and you remind yourself that you are L-O-V-E, love. And that light opens up doorways for you. And that light gives you the power to forgive the past. And some of the behavior that we've all endured is a lot of learned behavior. And it's been through the generations. So these things don't change overnight. So chances are you're not as lost as you think you are. Chances are you're not as empty as you feel. You're just noticing that you're not where you want to be. You're noticing that you're separate from love and thus separate from God. And in this separation, you're coming to this understanding that something doesn't feel right. And when something doesn't feel right, you have the power to notice it, to do something about it, and to change. We can't change other people, but we can change how we react. We can't change all the storylines going on around us instantaneously, but we can choose how those storylines impact us, how we see them. And to stay in the energy of love, we can choose to be in the energy of gratefulness. For gratefulness is a partner of love. when we're in gratitude for everything that we have, it brings more of what we have. It's kind of a funny magnet trick that you should all try. But when we focus on all the things we don't have and that aren't going right and what isn't being done with us, for us, around us, all the things that we can complain about, we find ourselves getting more of that. Some days it's exhausting to be a human, I know. Some days they just blur into the next. And you wonder, is it ever going to change? It can change. But everything has its time. But when you tune into the energy of love, you open up the doors to new possibilities. You open up the doors to inspiration. Inspires you to create intentions. That sends a rocket of desire to the universe. And then everything begins to move to accommodate what you're looking for. We welcome your phone calls at 866-972-7247. We're answering your questions all across the nation. We're also answering your questions on Facebook and YouTube. We're in the energy of love. For this minute, we're going to take a loving break. And then when we come back, we're going to answer your questions right here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, brought to you by the Oldies Station and WSFS. All our friends at 95.3, 95.9, 96.9, 106.9, and 103.1 HD3. Don't you go anywhere. Don't you turn that dial. Just shut off your Facebook or your YouTube. Stay with us, because we're going to go to the phone lines when we get back.
Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with?
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
And we are back here live on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and we're talking to all of you now, all across the nation at 866-972-7247. If you pick up the phone and you get a busy signal or it keeps ringing, then don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you. So just put us on speed dial at 866-972-7247. We're going to go to the phone lines, and we will be answering our friends on Facebook and YouTube, so keep that going as well. I've got to go to New York. I've got Sarah on the line. Sarah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, Sarah. Good to connect with you. This is a time of, well, really reviewing the past and the memories and really kind of doing some healing for yourself. Is that something that you've been working on?
Yes, that's actually part of what I wanted to ask you.
Okay. It is a time of making some changes as well. So you need to take a look at where you are and what's working for you, what's not working for you. I want you to take a look at your finances. I know that they're not quite where you want them to be. I want you to take a look at what you have to do to make a change, so that when we step into 2025, so you've got a little time to work with this energy. When we step into 2025, things start to kind of come together for you. What is the question for me, please?
Okay. What's stopping me from moving forward with my life and what I want to do?
Your belief in self. And you have a sense of feeling alone as well, abandoned, alone. Do you feel as if sometimes you're alone and you're not really, people aren't getting you? I know that you do have some people in your circle, your partner and such, but I get a sense that some of the past and the missing of the past and your confidence as to your ability is kind of weighing you down. So what I hear from Spirit is for you to tell yourself every day that you are worthy and you are enough and that you are love. You have the power to create anything you want. And you're very good at caring for others and taking care of others. And this is something that you've done, but you're ready for a change. You're looking to do something different. Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And this is something that you can accomplish in this 2025 year that's approaching before we know it. But you have to take a look at your belief and ask yourself, what am I afraid of? What past failure do I have that is holding me back because I'm afraid I'm going to fail here too? And you need to look at what you did in the past that you view as a failure, and instead of viewing it as a failure, take a look at what you learned from that experience. Take a look at where that put you, how it was a stepping stone for where you are now. And then take a look at how perhaps some things were out of your control and you really didn't fail. It actually was part of the plan. Because I'll tell you this, Sarah, and I'll tell everyone listening, that all of our failures are never failures. They are always a setup for the next step in our plan, and they're always our greatest teacher. And when we're grateful, even for our failures and our disappointments, we go a lot further in our journey. We appreciate your calling, Sarah. We trust we've given you insight for tonight.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to let all of that sink in and process it.
Good. Well, we appreciate your call. And remember, you can watch the show back on Facebook or YouTube and catch the exact verbiage in the replay and always go back. Thank you so much. Bye for now.
Yes.
866-972-7247. We're going to go back to the phone lines, and I've got Louise. Louise is in Boca. Louise, how are you tonight?
Hi.
Good to have you here, Louise.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much. I do have a question.
You do have a question. And are you ready to make some shifts and changes in your own life? Are you really feeling this need to kind of get out of a routine for yourself? Are we feeling a little stuck here, Louise?
Yes, feeling ready to move on. That's true.
Yes, it is time. What is your question for us, Louise?
So my question is, I really have lost a lot of loved ones in my life, family members, sibling, parents, good friends, and I feel them. I feel like they're sending me messages.
Correct.
And I don't know if half the time I'm delusional, or if I see a cloud in the sky, I'm like, oh my God, that's a heart. I'm feeling this from whoever, somebody that I love. How accurate am I in feeling this?
If you have the feeling and your mind goes to that person, then remember that person is in your energy. They're always in our energy. Even though we lose them in the physical embodiment, they are always in our energy. And their being in our energy allows them to kind of connect with us and transmit and help us think of them or remember them. So, yes, you are correct.
Yeah, I feel them a lot.
Yes, you are correct. And when I look at the energy around you, I am made aware of the series of changes that you've been through. They take me back to the energy of 2019 into 2020. I know we all were in a little bit of a craziness in 2020, but you were going through your own stuff at that time as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it was definitely
difficult time then at that time.
Yeah, back in 2020, I began co-authoring a book with a dear friend of mine who passed away that I think of often, and he sends me messages.
Yeah.
So
and they take me back to that time. So that time is important to you. Okay, so that time is important to help you understand that they live on with you and through you.
Interesting you bring that time up, because in 2019 I created an intention group with a core group of people, and we were doing powerful intentions through that book, Dr. Lynn McTaggart, The Power of Eight, and like an 8 people intention group. So that was like the peak of that group that I co-created with a friend of mine who since passed, who I co-authored a book with. So, yeah, that was a pivotal time in my life, for sure.
It is. And it is what set you up for where you are now. And all the parties that were connected to that energy is still with you. And that intention group, well, your power of intentions are so important to create what you want to have next, right? You've got the power to create what comes next. Male energy stands above you in the energy position of father. Father has passed away as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Father's energy is very close to you. He stands directly above you, letting me know that he's here supporting you.
I feel that.
And then
thank you.
I have a person who steps forward, female energy, but she's taking me to her throat, her swallowing, something in her upper chest into the throat here. She's making me feel like this was uncomfortable, difficult for her before she passed. She stands in a position of connectivity, female energy. It appears to be in the maternal energy, like mother, grandmother energy. Does this make sense to you, please?
Yep.
Okay.
Either my grandmother or my sister, one of them.
Let me place this
Older
for
sister.
you.
So yeah.
Yeah, let me place it for you, please. 1 minute. Your older sister was a little bossy at times?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
It's your older sister. I just see her as very strong-willed, yes?
Oh, yeah.
She tells me she fought the good fight. Does this make sense to you?
Oh, my God, yes. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have many that are with you. You are aware of them, and do trust that in knowing that they are with you, that they are giving you signs, that they're imprinting telepathically in your blueprint of energy so that you can notice them, turn on the radio at a particular moment, get the sense to look up at a cloud, pay attention to the signs.
Today.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so pay attention to those things and pay attention to the synchronicities of the numbers because they're happening for a reason as well.
I believe that.
Is this your first time calling us, Louise?
Yes, it is.
We're very glad
you so much
to have you
today.
here to be a part of the show. And we welcome you to our family. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and YouTube so that we can stay in touch and you can continue to be a part of Spirit's messages for us all.
Thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
You're welcome.
Thank you
Bye
so
for
much.
now.
Okay. Bye.
866-972-7247. We're answering your questions all across the nation. And we are welcoming your questions and comments on Facebook and YouTube. We're going to go to Fort Lauderdale, and we've got Michelle on the line. Michelle, how are you tonight? Well, I think we lost Michelle, so we're going to go to West Palm Beach. I've got Denise on the line in West Palm Beach. Denise, how are you?
Hi, Sarah.
You like the topic for tonight, don't you?
I do, very much.
And you're an advocate for love, yes?
I certainly am.
And you're a free spirit.
That
Correct?
I am.
And you love, and you love to love. Is that also true?
Yes, I love too hard.
You can never love too hard. You just have to be love. Love is a powerful force, and it is a force that governs you. You also are a stickler for some details, so sometimes you have to keep things in a flow that maybe other people don't understand. But you know what you want, and you're working towards it. It's going to be a great year for you. It is a year that you have to let go of the past. Do not try to do things the way you've done them before, because that will lead you down a very dark, narrowly road that is going to put you in a place that you'll be like, bananas, I've been here before. You want to be inspired. You want to step on a different path. You want to feel that you can and will make a difference. And you can't let that voice inside of your head make you feel like you cannot. Because you wrestle with that, even though you put on a happy face, as they say. Is that true?
That's true. I have a lot of fear that I battle with.
Well, fear separates you from God. Fear is programmed energy that has nothing to do with love. So when you say to yourself in the mirror, I am love, therefore love is more powerful than fear, and I have nothing to be afraid of because love is the power that conquers everything in this entire world, and therefore gives me the authority of God to act in everything I do because I am the expression of love. You don't have anything to be afraid of. You have to just rewire your brain.
Bad decisions.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Sometimes I'm afraid of not making good decisions.
What's the worst that happens? You make a decision, you try it, it doesn't work, and you recalculate the route and you head in a different way. The most successful people have made wrong decisions. It's a growth spurt.
I'm going to make a big change next year. I'm looking to make a very big career change and battle the fear and move on and not do what I'm doing anymore. Hopefully no one's listening. Because the stress and the anxiety took the passion away.
Stress and anxiety can rob us of our joy, and therefore we are no longer inspired. So I can understand that. And this year, until your birthday, so you've got 4 months, maybe 5, although time's an illusion, but we've got a short window of time. Get everything in line to make the changes because we want to be on the path of success. This is the perfect time for your soul where you are to make the change. You couldn't time it any better. You couldn't have felt discontent at a better time. Even though who wants to feel discontent, but you couldn't have felt better at a better time. It's the perfect time.
Do you see anything about my book? I'm working on a 3rd book. I've been working really hard on it, and I'm hoping to have it published by late fall, early winter.
November.
November.
I see November. Go ahead, get writing. Keep moving.
I will.
You're writing from your soul. So when you write from your soul, everything comes together. When you write from your head, it takes longer. And the voice of fear talks to you.
And the writing is very cathartic for me.
It is. It's cathartic, but it's also important because it's your expression of who you are that is meant to impart comfort and wisdom and inspiration to others. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So you're on track. Keep writing. And everything will come together, and it's the perfect time to make a change. Denise, I appreciate your calling into the show. We greatly appreciate you, and we look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Bye for now. Bye. 866-972-7247. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then when we come back, right here on the Oldies, we're going to come right back to the phone lines. We'll visit our friends on Facebook and YouTube. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and that's me, Sarah Spiritual. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I've been standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice?
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your song? Because you know that you know me. Every soul has its story, like a movie playing.
Every soul's got its story, just like a movie playing. And each one of us are characters in our own story. I want to thank everyone who's popping in on our Facebook page and our YouTube page. If you're not following me on YouTube, be sure to follow me on YouTube and follow me on Facebook. We appreciate everyone who's dropping their questions in. Got a lot of good comments here from the Facebook feed. People are saying that some of the things they're experiencing are happening right now that we were just talking about. So really appreciate the comments in our Facebook feed and our comments on our YouTube feed. We're going to be going to our Facebook and YouTube questions in just a minute. I have a call in Fort Lauderdale. I'm pretty sure it's Michelle that we had lost and dropped, and we might have her back. So Michelle in Fort Lauderdale, how are you? Good to have you here with us.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Michelle. So is this your first time calling the show?
Yes, it is.
Well, good. We welcome you to the show. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
It is an important time for you as well. So are you really looking to improve your picture of how your 2025 is going to start? And are you taking a look at perhaps making some shift in your career or your work at this time?
Yes. I'm just trying to figure that out.
Right. Well, it's the perfect time to figure it out and to redesign yourself in a way that makes you feel more fulfilled, more profitable, makes you feel like what you're doing makes a difference. You know, you're very intuitive and sensitive, and you really care for people, and you're very precise in how you like things done, but it's because you know how things should turn out in the big picture. Not everybody's a big picture thinker, but you are. Sometimes you think a little too much and confuse yourself. I can see that. But my guides tell me to tell you that drop down in your heart and go for a way to live life where you feel that you appreciate everything that you do and everything you do is for a reason. I don't know that where you are now currently you're feeling appreciated. I feel like you're feeling a little trapped and limited. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
So what is the burning question around this journey that we're on?
Well, I am, I don't have a specific question. I just have a general question, I guess, about what I should be doing. Because I do feel a little bit like I am overthinking, as you just mentioned, and I would like to set my goals clear, and just really believe in myself.
You can accomplish anything you set your mind to. So please believe in yourself. I do see you working with people, making a difference. I see you doing something more on your own than in the confines of how someone else thinks you should work. Are you looking to do something that's contractual or self-employed at this time? Is that something you're giving thought to?
Yes. Yes. I do a few things, but that is one of the things.
I feel like you want to do something that's going to help you set your rhythm, set your own paycheck. I want you to remember how versatile you are and how good you are at multitasking. I see you with people, with projects. I see you motivating people. I see you working with people so that they can find their special aspects within themselves and enjoy experiences. Those are the brushstroke words that Spirit has given me so that you can become inspired on the journey. I do know that when we take ourselves to your next birthday, a lot of this has all changed already, okay? So this is a time for you to kind of put pen to paper, and I want you to write down all the things that you love to do. I want you to focus on what you love to do. I want you to look at what you're currently doing, all the different things as a multitasker that you are. Look at all the different aspects of work that you're doing. See the parts that make you feel the most fulfilled and appreciated. Isolate those, place that on your paper, and see what you can come up with. Ideally, I see you self-employed, so believe in yourself.
Thank you so much. And do we have time for just another quick question about just family and balancing that?
Absolutely, yes. So let's follow up with that. What is the question?
Yeah, so I just want to know about my relationships and my family life and just balancing my career, and if there's anything, more steps I can take in that direction as well.
Sure.
Or-
So the first thing they let me know is that sometimes you make things too easy for people because you do too much for everybody. So it's okay to love yourself and put yourself first, right? So you need to be filling your cup. You need to remember that you are love and you can do anything that you desire. I want you to put yourself in the place of every person that you love and ask yourself, what is it that they really need from me? Not all that you're doing for them, but what is it that they really need from me? And once you come to that sense of this person needs this attention, this person requires this person needs quality time. Once you identify what the needs are, then you see where you can kind of put everything together and accomplish quality family time, quality relationship time, and assign tasks so that they're supporting what you're doing. And people support that which they help to create. So once you have a clear mind, not when you're still in the figuring it out, because then people will think that you're flighty and you don't know what you're talking about. So we are going to just figure out what we desire, and we're going to say, okay, this is the plan, and I understand that you need this from me, and you need this from me, and you need this from me, and what I require from all of you is this, 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 and this. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I understand you're Superwoman, but you can lose a cape or two and ask for assistance. There's so many different ways we can go in this whole conversation, Michelle, and I do hope that one day you and I can have a personal session. You can go to sarahspiritual.com. I'd love to go into depths of your relations and relationship, but for this minute, this is the time that we do have. I do hope that I've been of help to you.
That was wonderful. Spot on. Thank you so much, Sarah.
You're welcome, Michelle. Thank you so much. And Michelle, how did you hear about the show?
From Amp Media
Okay,
on
great.
YouTube.
Great.
Studio.
Well, we appreciate that. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. All right. Bye for now.
Thank you so much.
You've got it. Bye.
Bye-bye.
866-972-7247. We're going to go to West Palm Beach. I've got Diana on the line. Diana, how are you tonight?
Yes, how are you? Can you hear me?
I hear you perfectly, Diana. I hear a little noise in the background. I don't know what's happening back there.
Yeah, I actually got away from the noise, or at least
Good.
I tried to get away from the noise.
Thank you. I mean, I have voices in my head, so extra noise sometimes is a bit much for me. So, Diana, let me just tell you this.
I'm now in a quiet place.
Good. So when I look
as
at
quiet as I can be.
where you are in this journey, the first thing that they make me aware of is that this is a time for you to be a little bit more creative and kind of skip outside of the confines of what you're used to doing. We want you to be more playful. We want you to be more inspired. We want you to take a look at where the joy is and amplify joy. Amplify that energy of joy so that you can begin to attract the path that suits you so that you can feel more fulfilled. What is your question for me, Diana?
Well, it's several. So for one, speaking of doing something creative, I joined, I took a chance. I literally maxed out a credit card to join a creative group where I'm going to be learning computer tools.
That's perfect. You did the perfect thing for the perfect time. But I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, Diana, because I just looked at the clock. We're getting ready to go to commercial. So don't hang up. We have to continue to call this call, but I'm going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then when we come back, you and I are going to continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
And we don't know where to go. The world is...
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. 24/7.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canales Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussion to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another hour to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHs. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
The world is changing now, and we don't their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk
The world, it's changing now, and we can't walk the way we used to. So here we are, journeying the world and trying to find our way back to love. For you are love. Love is the power. We were on the phone with Diana in West Palm Beach, and I had to go to commercial. So we've got to pick up where we left off. So if you're just joining us, we're going to rejoin Diana. Diana, are you with me?
Yes, I am.
Great. So you were saying how you took a chance and you kind of put something on your credit card so that you could study and learn and grow, and that's as far as we had gotten. So what is the feedback here for us so we can continue answering your questions?
So, I mean, I did this, and of course, after I did this, I decided that I needed to change my address. I have a full-time job, but, you know, the income factor and the prices all affecting the way that I can sustain a living.
Yes.
So I had to make a difficult choice. So I'm actually in the process of having to change my address. And then I took up this creative class, which, by the way, is getting me very motivated. I'm like, since I don't sleep anyway, I might as well go online and learn new tricks, and it's really fun.
Good.
And I'm really having a good time. I guess I'm looking to see, like, career-wise, this job that I thought was going to go into fruition is delayed. There's a delayed response to me. And then, of course, I still have my current livelihood to work with. Will everything improve? Because even if I do move, that's not my regret right now at all. Like,
right.
It's time. So I'm happy for that, but I'm thinking more about, like, career and.
Yeah. So let's kind of let's pull this apart for a minute. It's almost like a bit of twisted yarn, and I want to kind of pull the pieces apart so you can see them in the light that Spirit shows it. So I feel like your career, your work that you were doing, I just feel like you've done all you can with that. I don't feel like there's enough oomph for that. I feel as if we're ready to make a major change. We're just afraid to make a change. And quite frankly, in the reality of life, we cannot afford to make a change. So we've got a lot of different things going on all at once to get us moving. But where you are now, everything's going to come together beautifully, because this is the time you were supposed to step out of the routine. And 2025 is a time of new community connections, connecting with people, relationships. It's this beautiful energy of all this effort, all of this visualization and intention, everything starting to come together for you again. Because when I look back to, interestingly enough, 2019, but 2020 is where they put me as a marker in my vision. I feel like you were going through your own metamorphosis at that time from 2019 to 2020. Interesting. Feel like a lot of people were going through a lot then. And it's that was kind of closing up a chapter for you so that we could put you on the path that you're on now. What you let go of in this moment of now that you feel like is too much weight for you, let it go. It will move easily. You will be free, and whatever is meant to come back to you will come back to you with ease and grace. So the move is perfectly timed.
Yes. but I'm confident about the move. It's just a job part. Like, you know, with full disclosure, my job is paying my bills, as
Correct.
much of them as I can, giving me my health insurance. I thought I'd have a different job by now, but that offer hasn't come in.
No, it has not.
But in the interim,
You're doing
I'm
this side
also-
gig. I understand. I know exactly where you are. And everything's going to come together in the perfect time. The holdup, this other offer that we were hoping will come, there's something going on internally with their story that isn't letting it come to fruition. And I want you to believe that it's going to happen at the perfect time.
Okay.
I could feel the energy of, we're in August. I kind of feel like come October, things are moving and shaking for you.
Okay. Okay. And my little side creative gig.
It's going to be fun, and I really think it's going to take off, and it may actually become way more than just a side gig.
Cool.
So continue feeling motivated and trust the experience, and know that by the time we get into 2025, you've built up enough momentum to really know what's working for you and how you want to design your new community and relations with people as you carve out your 2025 story. I thank you for holding while we went to commercial. I greatly appreciate that, and I trust that I've been of service to you today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You have.
Bye for now. 866-972-7247. We want to pop on our friends on Facebook and YouTube. We just want to say, hey, how are you doing? If you aren't following us on YouTube or on Facebook, please follow Sarah Spiritual. But if you've got a question on Facebook and YouTube, let's just pull a question or two before I go back to the phone lines. We've got calls all across South Florida here tonight, so we definitely want to talk to all our friends in Florida. But let's see what we've got going on in our YouTube. We've got Anna, and Anna has a crush, and she thinks the crush is attracted to her as well. Will anything happen between us? Well, we love a good crush, Anna, that's for sure. And when I look at this energy around you, this is really the perfect time for you to put your foot upon new beginnings, new love, new romance. I wish I had the birthday of the person you've got a crush on, because that would make it a little easier for me to see where they're at. But I do feel that this banter, this flirting is very good for you. And I feel that we will definitely get to see a little bit more of this person, so we could see if the crush is, I hear that song in my head, it's just a little crush. Well, see if it's going to be a little bit more than just a little crush. So we're going to say, yes, we see it getting a little bit more intense, so that we can get to know that person. And hopefully you can write back to us next week and share with us what that birthday is. We're going to take our next question from YouTube and Facebook before we go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. And let's see here. Who else do we have? We have anyone on Facebook before we pop over? Okay, we've got Carla Colbum. And she says, hey, wondering about my career and my future. Do I stay where I am or do I go? It's a roller coaster. Do I stay or do I go? Well, I've got to tell you, my darling, that this is the perfect time to go. Now, we go with wisdom. We go when the timing is right. We do not go when Mercury is retrograde. And we do make sure that we do our due diligence so that when we make the move to go, we are landing in a good, solid place. We want to do our due diligence. I feel like there's more money for you to be paid. I feel there's like a much less toxic environment for you to work at. So these are some of the very basic qualities we're looking for. More money, a non-toxic environment, and everything else that you're looking for. So begin the quest to see what's out there. Better to look while we have a job than to be kind of tossed off the roller coaster, because the people you work with, they're capable of doing anything. So thank you, Carla, for asking your question. Keep us posted. I do know the winds of change are upon you, and no better time to make a change than now. Thanks so much. We're going to go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247, and I've got to go to Debbie. Debbie's in Port St. Lucie. Debbie, how are you tonight?
All right.
Good. Good to connect with you, Debbie. Is this your first time calling?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Well, we welcome you to the show. And Debbie, when I look around you right now, the energy is about kind of expanding things for yourself and feeling that you are connecting in more ways than just existing here. There's a great level of consciousness that the universe is offering you to connect to. It's really an expansion of connections with community, an expansion of connections also financially as well. What is your burning question for me?
Well, I'm in the middle of a lot of things. I'm trying to move.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to move forward. I'd like to find a relationship somewhere.
Love. I see love. I see love. I see love. I see love. Make your move. Move energy is going to be good for you. Going to shift your energy. 2025 opens up the time for love, 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 love. Let me say it one more time. Love.
Okay.
Because I feel as if you've been shut down and shut off, Debbie, for a while. And you weren't really receptive to love. So now you're like, okay, something's got to change. I guess it better be me. What can I change? What is making me not feel happy and satisfied? This is an expansive time. You're going to expand into new connections with people. And you're going to make a difference. By the time your birthday comes, much of your life will be in a state of complete change. Is that the goal, that by your birthday you've got a lot of things in a different rhythm and order? Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
At least I feel that way, yes.
You are on track for that. You are on track for that, and trust your intuition. Also, do not listen to the voices of the people who want to tell you what to do. Now is not the time to worry about what other people think.
Okay.
Do what you feel is best for you.
Okay. I have a question about, I'm in the middle of moving, and it's been kind of a bumpy road, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the street that I'm moving to. I have the numbers. Can you tell me if they're good numbers?
I can. Do you have the house number for me?
Yes. It's
What is
3122.
Well, that can be a good house. That house has a lot of positivity that can be available in the house. You just need to make sure that that house gets enough light, that there's enough light in that house. And you also want to make sure that you have some black tourmaline near the door. It's a really
Sorry, what here?
a black tourmaline. It's a crystal by the door to absorb energy.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a really spiritual kind of energy in that house. I feel as if things aren't connecting correctly yet, but by the end of August, things should be on track. Are we in the process of going through paperwork and closing? Is that what we're doing?
Yes, I'm renting it, and I'm
Okay, you're
supposed to
renting.
meet up with him tonight, and he hasn't responded to me, and I'm supposed to be out where I am like the end of the week, and I'm getting a little nervous. So that's one reason why I was kind of questioning, okay, am I doing the right thing here?
Well, you also have your deadline, right? So if he doesn't answer you by the morning, then we move on, right? We need what we need, right? So you have to create what comes next. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on's a little hard because at this point I have nowhere to move on. So I'm just getting a little nervous. And it's been kind of one of those, I liked the place. I did get wonderful feelings when I went and saw the place.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really been very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And yet I have that little bit of nagging feeling. And so I've been kind of, did I make the right decision? Did I not make the right decision?
All right, so let me
coach
you. Let me coach you with that. All right, Debbie. So this is a great example of we are 3/4 down the road, and if we turn around to see where we came from and try to head back, it's too far a journey. So you're going to see this to the end, but you're going to visualize the outcome the way you want it. I feel like for some reason today was just a day he had a lot going on. That's the energy that I'm picking up. I feel like he has a lot on his plate, and today was a busy day for him, and answering your message and acknowledging you might have been the right thing to do, but he didn't really have time and realized that he could handle it tomorrow, right? He knows you need to be out by a certain time, and so you guys already have an agreement. He does not strike me as someone who's going to go back on his agreement.
Okay. Good thought. Okay.
And I want you to completely
anyone...
completely visualize that, my dear, because as you visualize that, you support that energy so that nothing gets in between and causes the disruption. Okay. Do I see anyone? What is the next question?
Is anybody out there hanging around? Any loved ones?
That's a complicated question, okay? There are loved ones hanging out there around. Of course they are hanging around. I don't see anyone stepping forward that has anything specific to say, but I do know that there's the energy around you. I see female energy standing above you, which makes me feel as if mother has passed. Has mom passed, please?
Oh, yes, a long time ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
So that's why she's so far back. She's not stepping forward to give me anything to say back to you so that I can give you some validation, but I do see her. And I know there are two other people energetically who are watching you and a part of your, but they're not stepping forward. And because of the nature of our conversation, I really didn't get up fast enough to make the connection. But I do appreciate your giving us a call, and I know that things can work out for you. I want you to focus on that, and ask your loved ones on the other side to make sure it all comes together perfectly for you. I know they'd love to be of service to you. Thank you so much, Debbie. All right. Thank you. Bye for now. You're welcome. Bye.
All right.
866-972-7247. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then when we come back, we're coming back to our phone lines. So stay with us. Don't go away.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen?
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAS. That's 866-972-7247.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO Enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself, Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Did you call me with your song? Because you know that you know me.
Because you know me, I am Sarah Spiritual, and you're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation at 866-972-7247. And we're going to go back to our phone lines, and we've got to go to Fran, and Fran is in West Palm Beach. Fran, how are you tonight?
I'm okay.
Good to hear that, Fran. Take a deep breath, because I want you to know that all the ideas and the plans that you'd like to see come to fruition, those ideas and plans can begin to move forward in the direction of success for you as I move you past the month of October this year and I take you into 2025. It's time for a new attitude for you. It's time for you to deepen your beliefs. It's time for you to trust yourself and to claim your worth. Does this make any sense to you?
Yes.
It is time for change, Fran. What is your question for me?
Well, you answered my question.
I answered your question already. Well, that was easy.
I just wanted to know if I was in the right pathway, if everything was going to be fine for me.
Everything's going to be fine. I know that we have concerns about people around you that you care for, but remember, we're not to worry. We're supposed to visualize everything happening perfectly as it should, everything in the healing energy, and see outcomes that are those that are kind of, created by God. That's how we manage all of these challenges that we have.
Yeah.
So I want you to know that you're
Thank
definitely
you.
not alone, Fran. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye for now. All right. As I choke here, we're going to go back to our phone lines. I've got to go to Denise. Denise, how are you tonight?
I'm here.
Good, Denise. Good to have you here. It is really going to be a powerful time for you to connect into things having to do with work, career, money, financial dealings. It's also a time for you to kind of step into the rhythm of your soul. Are you transitioning something financially right now, or working on making a shift for yourself personally so that you feel more purposely driven and handle something financially at the same time? Does that make sense to you?
Well, it does. I started teaching children art, and I'm kind of settling into the concept of really enjoying it, and it's been very purposeful.
Very good. Very good.
Purpose in it.
This year will really lead you more and more into your purpose, because you are meant to help others, to give back. The word they give me is influence. You're meant to influence people. And teaching gives you that platform that allows you to influence others and make a difference. And I know that you're going to get a lot of powerful feedback from the students when they move on. You're going to get some powerful feedback back from them. It'll be very rewarding for you. I know, we're just starting our school year, yes, so that's an exciting time. But as we develop a relationship with all of these young ones, you're going to find that you can impact each of them differently, and that's going to be most rewarding for you. I do feel that this is a time for you to also settle into self-care. I feel like we don't want to neglect yourself, and I want you to be sure to care for self, because in caring for self, we make sure that we are fully connected to the divine, we're honoring our divine spark, and we're not draining our energy, and then we don't have enough to be inspired. So what will help you really settle in and enjoy these young ones is for you to be caring for self in the process. So don't neglect self is the message that Spirit has for you. Does that make sense to you?
No, it does. It does. What about financially? Where do you see that panning out?
Well, this year is meant to be a financial year that puts you in a better financial light. That's why I asked you if you were handling things that have to do with financial transactions and such. I do feel that as we move you into this time till your next birthday, that financially things begin to, the word I'm hearing is balance out, and I see increase coming from that, all right? So if you're in a little bit of a wobble, the wobble is going to kind of even out, feel a little bit more secure, and then we can build from there.
And what do you see from relationships?
What is the specific question for that, please?
Being involved with in dating.
But there's not a particular person that you have in mind, correct?
Oh, yes, there is. Yes,
okay,
there is.
What is their birthday, please? That's what I need to access that information.
July 7th.
Is that your dog in the background?
I'm sorry, yes it is.
No, don't apologize. I was like, I know that sound. So when I look at this individual and where they are, this is an important year for them. They are really in this flow of understanding things that are important to them. They were feeling a little stuck, and they're kind of pulling themselves out of stagnation. So I guess the two of you were kind of running a little neck and neck and feeling stuck and having to make some changes for yourself. This person is very sensitive. Sometimes I don't know that they are always on the same frequency as you or get you the way you'd like them to get you. Emotionally, they may shut down a little bit more than you do, and so that may kind of be a little off-putting for you. But I do feel that this is a solid individual, and at this moment, I feel like you two are on the path.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
I hope I've been of service to you today. Well, for now, I'm going to have to pop off because I do have so many other calls we need to get to before we close the show. But I trust I've been of service to you, Denise.
You have. Thank you so much. You have a great evening.
You too. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
866-972-7247. From Fort Lauderdale, we're going to head up a little north, and we've got to go to Delray. I've got Liz on the line. Liz, how are you tonight?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome, Liz. Good to connect with you. And this year is a year that I want you looking at your work and your career. Are you looking to promote and advance in your career this year? Is that a goal of yours, please?
Yes, it is. I've been in my current career for almost 20 years. I've been there 17 years.
And now it's time to make some shifts in that, yes?
Yes, it is.
Feeling a little bit like we need a change, right? And this is the perfect year to make a shift, a movement. And when I say perfect year, I want you to know that you really have the next 10 months to do what I am saying. The energy will be really ripe for this over the next 10 months. So no one's saying you have to jump and change. I know you've been giving it thought and consideration now a good part of this 2024. Because your question is, where do I go from here? And what is my purpose? What is my meaning? And so, Liz, I do know that this is going to be a powerful time for you in your career.
Interesting.
And I feel like you need to make a shift to take yourself out of the boredom, the box, the repetition, and use your skill set to be more creative and feel more inspired as you work. Does this make sense to you, Liz?
Yes, it does. I love that.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, I feel stuck, definitely stuck, giving up my career and taking that leap,
Which can be a little bit off-putting, a little scary, but we want to really just sit and see where we can go with the skill set and then what would be different so that we don't feel like we stepped from one box into another. I also see for you, Liz, a trip. Do we have a trip coming up or something we're thinking about doing? I see a trip coming up in a short time. That makes me feel like it happens before the end of the year.
Wow, interesting you say that. I have a big birthday coming up.
Ooh.
I'm turning 50 on August 26th. So I actually wanted some clarity around what to do for my birthday, to celebrate my birthday. And a trip was one of the options, like maybe a solo trip or a trip with my partner or a friend. I was thinking about a trip. I'm not sure though, so I was just wondering, what should I do for this big birthday?
We do want to market. We want to market in time with memories, surrounding yourself with the people that mean the most to you so you could share those memories. Yes, a solo trip would be good and you kind of like your solitude at times, but it's something that we want to celebrate with people, right? So whether you book a cruise or you book a short little trip, doesn't have to be far. We don't have to go on a big extravaganza. Not everybody may be able to do that, but if you just, whether you go with your partner or you go with your partner and a few friends and we say, hey, let's all go here and rent a house and hang out and celebrate and go see this site or that site, it would be most beneficial. My guides tell me you need a break. So why not use your birthday as a chance to celebrate and get a break?
Yes, I love that.
Yes. It's a perfect time
for you. Do you have
any,
it's a perfect time. Yeah. Do you have any clarity around my relationship?
What is that person's birthday?
December 18th.
Well, that can be a little complicated. there's just a lot of complexity to who they are. Their energy here makes me feel as if this year is a really powerful year for them. It's actually a big relationship year for them. The focus for them this year in their journey of their soul is in partnership, in relationship, deepening partnership, deepening love. I just sometimes feel like they don't always focus on things to really in-depth experience it the way you do. So I feel that it's something that sometimes you guys are not communicating on the same page, but we can have that in so many relationships. But the guides are letting me know that this is a year of their personal power, and they're stepping into the energy of love.
Oh.
So when they're in the energy of love, it's what they need to focus on, their self-love, building love in relationships around them, deepening love, focusing on creating in the energy of love, finding their joy in their rhythm, releasing things that make them dissatisfied externally from the relationship. So it will be a reflective time for them, but it will be a time for them to step into their power. And when I use the timing for them, I really feel that, I don't know, I feel like there's some things that are kind of a little bit of a pressure cooker for them right now. And as we get closer to their birthday, as things are kind of piling up like a pressure cooker that needs some things released, they're going to release it. This way that'll lessen stress for them. They'll be a little bit more calm. They could use a vacation too, by the way. And as they kind of settle into that energy, then they'll be a little more inspired, and then they could see where they want to go from there, right? Because they'll be in a little bit more of a centered sense of love. So when I put them in that space, I take them from November of this year, and I take them into March of next year as being a window to take a look, to make changes for what's not working for them in the exterior, and for them to be able to kind of like drop down in their heart and focus on the relationship, on the communication in the relationship, so that they can build stronger connection with you.
Yeah, I want all that for him.
Yeah.
So do you see us together or apart?
This minute I don't see you guys apart. So is there a follow-up question to that? Because I don't see separation right now.
Okay.
All right.
That's good.
They're
That's
complicated. They got stuff going on. Let them handle it. Let it be.
Okay.
You know, when they get
Let
their
it
bee in a
be. I love that.
when they get their bee in a bonnet, they get all bent out of shape. Let them calm down. Let them figure out what they need to do for themselves. It's not a reflection on you or the relationship. It's a reflection on that individual and what they're navigating. All right, my dear?
Yes. Thank you. I
Thank you.
received that.
Thank you, Liz. It's a pleasure connecting with you. And how did you hear about the show?
I know some of the people involved with the show.
Oh, beautiful.
Freddie and
wonderful.
Dawn.
Well, we welcome you to the show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
You.
Bye for now.
Okay. Bye.
866-972-7247. We've got to go to Terry Ann. Terry Ann is in Australia. Terry Ann, how are you tonight?
Thank you, Sarah. How are you?
Good, good. So what time is it there down under? What time is it?
It's 11:45 in the morning.
On Thursday. So see, you just leaped ahead of all of us. So thank you so much, my dear. Good to have you back here on the phone. Let me just tell you that I feel like things seem a little bit more clustered in the energy. We kind of feeling like we're having difficulty picking apart storylines and getting things to work out for us the way we'd like to. Terry Ann, is that true?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. Yeah, everything just seems crisscrossed right now around you. Like I feel like you're not being seen, you're not being heard. People are not really taking the story seriously. I'm feeling that things have become complicated in matters that have to do personally as well as legally. Is that also true?
That's right. That's
Yes.
right.
So, Terry Ann, what is your question for us tonight?
I would just like to know if my dad felt loved and protected, and if I do my best.
Dad's birthday, please.
6th of October 1945.
I'm sorry. Could you say the month and the day again?
6th October 45.
Okay. You know, you did everything you could for your parents. You know that. You understand this.
Yeah. I tried my best.
And your father doesn't blame you for anything. He knows you're not responsible.
He went through a horrible life too. Yeah.
Yeah. But he knows that you're not responsible for him and his emotions and his energy. That he shows me in this moment in time is that you brought a lot of light and brightness and joy to him. When I look at when he was about 10 years old, I feel like that was a very toxic time for him when he was growing up. Is that true from what you know?
I don't know anything about his childhood.
Okay. But his life has always been complicated, correct?
Yes, it has.
Yeah. And his difficulties have always weighed heavy on him.
Yes, they have.
Now, your mother, is she having problems with her legs, please?
I don't know, Sarah. I don't have anything to do with her now.
Okay. I feel like something's going on with
I've
her.
walked away from all of my family.
Yeah, feel like something's going on with her legs, her mobility and such, just so that you know that's what Spirit is showing me. You have to put yourself first, and you can't get involved in the toxicity. You know, you have your relationship with
that's
them.
why I've walked away now.
Yeah, so you have your relationship with them, and there is joy and love that exists between the two, between all of you. However, it's been clouded by the illusions, the lies, the betrayal of others. And so your parents are not able to assert themselves in this time. They almost make me feel like they're a prisoner in a story, almost being held captive. No, I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel as if you've been...
There's just so much that I don't understand.
Yeah. I feel as if you've been painted as a crazy person.
I have. Yes, I have.
Okay.
And I have not been listened to at all.
Yeah. But from what I can see, Terry Ann, things will change. You will be heard. We will have evidence that proves that you were right the whole time. We just need to give it time for this to unfold. And I know it's been a very long time, a very dramatic time, but it will turn around for you.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
My dad knew that I was with him to the very last minute.
He did. He did know. His energy's very much around you. Very much around you. He makes me feel. He makes me feel as if it's somewhat recent that he passed. Is that true?
4 weeks ago.
Yes. See. So it's a little.
I was staying at the nursing home every night with him.
So when they first pass, it's almost like a cable channel that doesn't come in clearly for me. But he is giving me the energy of that he knew you were there, that you were a bright light and joy for him, and he is in this energy of love. And he'll become stronger and give you signs along the way. All right, my dear? We're truly sorry for your loss of your father.
Thank you, Sarah.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you for calling us from Australia. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome. Bye for now.
Thank you very much, darling.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.
866-972-7247. We're going to go to Palm Beach. I've got Tracy on the line. Tracy, how are you? Hi, Tracy. Good to have you here joining us. Thank you so much. And Tracy, as we're getting ready to wind down the show, what is your question for us?
Well, I have 4 children, and after a divorce for a long while, they're working for their father, and they're distant. And I just wonder if they have been in my life in different lives, that we were opposed, and are we doing that again?
Great questioning. So, Tracy, the first thing I know is that if I take you back to 2015, was this a difficult time for you in your relationship or with your children and your ex? Was this a difficult time?
No.
Okay. Because my guides take me back to 2015, and they take me back to 2015, and they talk about us clearing the energy from 2015 to this 2024. Your children are in this place of, when people have been brainwashed and they are honoring the side that butters their bread, as they say, yes? That's where your children are for now.
Yeah, I understand this life.
I know. I'm going to give you I'm going to answer that. I will answer that. I need to give it to you in the flow. Spirit gives it to me. Okay. So they will get there eventually, so that they come to an understanding that it's not all lollipops and puppy tails there. And they will have a better understanding of the interaction in your relationship with your ex. That will give them more clarity. You have been with your children before in a past life in many forms. In times where you were close, and in times when you were separate. You also were with your ex many times before. And all of you chose to reincarnate and iron out karma of unfulfilled promises and contracts to each other. So as you can tell, we're not doing very well right now. Of unfulfilled promises and contracts that were a part of a lifetimes, but they specifically take me back to a lifetime, and they take me back to the year of 1875. So whatever was going on in that timeline in the world and divided all of you, we didn't all come back as we needed to, come back physically, rejoin during the stress and the trials and tribulations that ripped through your family unit. And mind you, your ex was not the parent, you were not the parent. A lot of the roles were reversed in this time. But we had a contract to rejoin, and we didn't. We are working on it in this lifetime. It's just at this moment, it's not appearing like we're doing very well. But I will tell you that as they mature, we will have a better understanding and connection. But with your specific children, you've had many lives.
Yeah, I feel that.
And they've been very opinionated in this life. And in other lifetimes, they didn't have their voice. So this time they got their roar like a little lion. And that's why they were, two of them seem a little more forceful than the others. And I feel like they're a little more forceful to push their energy out and express themselves, and almost to belittle, demean, or kind of cast you out. That's just their persona, right? So that's a built-up resentment from another lifetime. You were saying, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I'm curious about in this lifetime. I have lots of male friends that were friends and platonic and all that, and we're really good friends. Will anything develop out of that into a love relationship? And I don't know birthdays.
Okay. Well, I will tell you this. There is one that's a possibility, but I also see someone else coming. That is not a friend. That is strictly a love potential. So, but there is one in your little crew of your guy pals that could actually emerge as a contender, my guides say. So we're going to look for the contender. But I want you to just trust that you're not meant to be alone, that we will have partnership in this lifetime, that where you are in this journey is really preparing you and churning you up for this breath of fresh air in 2025. I really feel that by 2026 you are in a committed relationship, so someone emerges and you will find your happiness. For this minute, we are complete. I do have to close down the show, but I sincerely hope that I was of service to you, Tracy. Good to talk to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
You're welcome. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
866-972-7247. Write that number down. We'd love to hear from you every Wednesday night from 6:30 to 9 p.m. on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, right here on the Oldie Station. If you'd like to have a personal session with me, Sarah Spiritual, go to my website, sarahspiritual.com, and there you can learn about all my sessions that I offer. You can also see the product line that I design. And if you're local to West Palm Beach, we would love to see you at the Expedito Enlightenment Center. That's my center. This year celebrates 18 years of being at the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. You can learn all about the Expedito Center at my website, Sarah Spiritual, or go to expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com and learn more there. We greatly appreciate you and sharing time and space with us. We wish the children who are on their way back to school now a great school year, and for the parents, may it be easy. We send the angels to help you. We appreciate you all. Good night. God bless you. And I am Sarah Spiritual.
It's just not easy to be who we want to be.
This has been Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. You can hear and speak with Sarah Spiritual every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Each week, Sarah Spiritual and Spirit answer your most important questions as you navigate through life. Listen and call in next week and let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit guide you. If you didn't have a chance to speak with Sarah Spiritual tonight, visit Sarah at sarahspiritual.com. You can message Sarah Spiritual at Facebook and follow her on Instagram. Tune in every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. with more from Spiritually Speaking with Sarah.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3.